Yay, it worked. Okay, welcome to Wednesday at 1 with Elle Wood. And this week I'm joined by Vedran, who is a Croatian man, normally based in Brussels, currently in Mallorca. He's a jet setter, very handsome, obviously. But the reason he's on today is for Revvis.com. So welcome, Vedran. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. It's appreciated.
So you were telling me a little bit about what Revvis.com, or did you just call your product Revvis? Am I just adding the .com for no reason?
Yes, I think Revvis is perfect. No need to add .com.
Don't need to add .com. Revvis is effectively Matterport for unbuilt properties. If I remember that correctly?
Yes, I think that's the best way to explain it, especially in layman's terms, because Revvis, if you go really in depth, is so complex and can do so much. But I think the easiest way to explain it to agents or to developers is, because everyone knows Matterport or products that are similar to Matterport, is that Revvis is basically a Matterport for unbuilt properties. Because as we know, Matterport can be utilized only on something that's existing, because you have to take it there, record everything. But with Revvis, it's so much easier. I mean, easier. The benefits of Revvis are that all we need is just floor plans, and then we can visualize even properties that are not existing, including the existing ones, of course.
That sounds very exciting. So how would an estate agent utilize Revvis?
Right. So I think if you follow the steps, we will first talk to a developer. So we will get plans that are usually fully annotated floor plans. So all that we need is a CAD drawings or PDF plans. Even though if they're not complete, we can still virtualize everything. So that will be floor plans, cross sections, and elevations. And once you receive this information, then we will create a virtual model. Usually we provide a package. That package consists of an interactive 3D virtual model, which can be downloaded and accessed on the PC or on the laptop. It can be streamed. Then also you can access it on the smartphone, on the tablet, and you can share it as well easily via URL link. So that's one part. The second part is the walk-around video. And the third part are the CGI images, or the 4K screenshots, as we call them. So we will provide a full package, which is it's very cost-effective, and the turnaround time is very quick. Revvis can be learned really in 5 minutes. It's very simple to use. So to navigate in Revvis, for example, all you need is, if you're using a smartphone on a tablet, you will just have to drag your fingers on the tablet like you will do with any image on your phone. Or if you utilize a PC or a laptop, then you will just drag your finger on the touchpad, and you will press the right click to move forward, and that's all you need. And the same will be with the mouse. So they will utilize interactive models once they talk with the clients online, and they can guide them and really showcase them property online. Or they can simply just send them an URL link so they can experience all that by themselves. So they can also play with the model by themselves. Or they can just put a normal video or CG images on their website or anywhere else, whatever they wish.
Sure. Fantastic. So for the end consumer, then, there's a lot of ways of accessing Revvis, which sounds fantastic, because obviously for estate agents, we're using social media, we're using our websites, we're using face-to-face iPad work and all of those types of things. So I think that's really awesome that there's lots of opportunities there. Whereabouts in the UK do you find it mostly useful? I'm thinking, is it a city thing? Is it a rural thing? What sort of agents are you normally in touch with?
Well, to be honest, it's kind of it's really widely used. It's hard to say because it's utilized everywhere, right? And not just in the residential sector, but also in the commercial sector, which is now picking up very quickly. So like this year for us is been very good. Even the COVID, of course, because that's when the virtual viewings really went up, right? Because people couldn't leave their houses, so they had to experience everything from their home, and it really showed the power of it. So, to be honest with you, there's no percentage or something I can say, well, it's more rural thing or it's more city thing. It's really because it can be utilized everywhere. And I think I would really like to reflect on the biggest advantages of Revvis and also, again, to explain it to agents why Revvis is different. And people think, okay, Revvis is just another visualization software, where 20% it is, but there is so much to it, and we can do so much more that others cannot do. And I will explain it quickly through Matterport. So as we already said, Matterport can be utilized only on the existing things, but you cannot utilize Matterport on non-existing things, right? Mm-hmm. Second thing, with Matterport, when it comes to movement, you place the camera within the house and you can only move to that certain spots, right? In Revvis, you can really walk and explore every corner of the property. You can walk in upstairs, downstairs, or you can just appear to certain places. You can do anything. And then the most important thing or interesting thing is the interactivity when it comes to changing materials and furniture items. So in Revvis, you can replace, change, remove, move, and drag and drop every single furniture you can see, and also find in our catalog, which is fully customizable, and every single material. While in Matterport, of course, once you record it, then that's it. And that now brings us to another story, that Matterport can be utilized basically only once, because usually when you will do that, when you will do recording with 360 viewing with the Matterport, once it's sold, because first thing people will do, they will change their apartment, let's be honest, right? But with Revvis, you can always go back and change things by yourself. And the nice thing is that all the furniture items and material items which we are now growing in Revvis can be connected via API, or let's just not confuse the audience, they can be connected with the real suppliers. So once you experience something in Revvis, you can click buy online and it will guide you directly to the supplier's website. So you can straight away purchase that furniture item or that material. But it's a great addition to it.
That's amazing. So it's like you could walk around an off-plan house that's not even been built yet, and you can say, I like that armchair. I want that armchair as well.
That's correct. And that's now what we're growing and working on at the moment, because it's we also realized one of the struggles that the suppliers have, they don't have the visual models, right? That you only have photographs. And we didn't want to take that step forward before, because we always counted the technology, right? Because I always think that technology in the future is so scary, actually, because you don't know what is there. And now the technology is so advanced and it's getting more and more advanced that basically enabled us now to easily, that everyone understands me, import, or let's say insert all these furniture items and materials into Revvis very quickly.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is indeed.
Because you can get games like that on your smartphone where you can just customize every inch of a flat or something. So to be able to do that and it's actually real, I mean, that's just extraordinary.
That's the main advantage of Revvis, is because we are based on a gaming engine. So we utilize game engine, and this is why we have so much possibilities. We can adapt our software very easily to other technologies, and we have our own unique API. So just to explain it quickly, API is basically a highway between two places that makes them talk to each other. So as much as we have unique API, we are also API friendly. So that means we can connect very easily to other online places. And usually it doesn't take us a lot of time. Thanks to this 5-6 years of very hard working and building the software in the way it's built. And we're still building it, because with software, the building never ends.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose it's like any business, isn't it? You're always tweaking and improving, and especially in the field of technology, because it moves at such a pace, doesn't it? What the consumer wants, what they expect, what they need. So you've got to keep up constantly, I imagine. It's pretty... Sounds like hard work to me. So within the commercial sphere, how does that work? Do you mean like building an office block?
Yes, so it depends, right? So, but usually what will happen, so for example, now recently what we had, if there is a scheme, or if there is a block, we will build full office block, or we will just build one floor, or we will just isolate parts of the floor area, and then we will just virtualize that and enable people to move there. As I said, because we can adapt other technologies, we also provide the mapping, so we can kind of create a representation of the surrounding area utilizing the OpenStreetMap data, and that will create like a buildings as they were existing there in real life. Or we can also put a drone in the air, or someone else, they can scan the area, and then this will provide a 3D scan, like 3D scan of this surrounding area, let's say of 500 meters in a radius, or 1 kilometer, doesn't matter. And then we can insert that in our system. And that's nice thing about Revvis, because we couldn't do that before. We never thought about it. And we've been asked, well, can you do this? And we don't like to say no. We always like to explore things first. And it took us 2-3 days to adapt our software to make it work with photogrammetry. But to come back, to your point, usually it depends really to what clients want. Also, what we're doing is, if we, for example, we virtualized full office space, and then if one floor gets sold, or one part of the office, we can limit the access to that area. So the agents, when they're walking people through, or they can just say, okay, you cannot access this area because it's rented or it's sold. And these are nice things about our software. And also, when it comes to the items and materials they want to offer to their clients, because you have to be careful of your cash flow, and you want to be careful what you're offering, because you don't want to confuse our clients as well. So that means we can limit the items. So, for example, if our catalog currently is counting more than 4,000 items, and it keeps growing every day. But if you want to showcase only 6, 7, or 12 items in your personal catalog, so when they access the visualization, they only see the items and the materials or the furniture items they can really get. We can do that very easily.
How interesting. I imagine that would be really useful for international buyers in particular.
Correct. And we also had already a few cases where we had confirmations that after our interactive viewing, people basically purchased the property and it was not even built yet. So that's, I think, one of the best feedback you can get.
That's amazing. And especially with us both being in Spain, I mean, before sort of the crash in 2008, the terrible cowboy building that went on and all of that kind of lots and lots of horror stories about people buying off plan and it just all being a bit ghastly, to put it mildly. I imagine, like, if you're getting involved with something like Revvis and you're providing that to your client, you're instilling a lot more trust and a lot more security for the buyer.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, when it comes to that, first of all, the policy in our company, it's all built with trust, right? We have to understand that. I would like to reflect a bit on that part, because I think it's a big issue these days, especially when it comes to the CEOs and how people, and I've been to a lot of presentations also lately, and it's all about, usually, don't get me wrong, I appreciate everyone's knowledge and everyone worked hard for their diplomas and everything, but usually the names start MR, Dr. MR, MSc, MS. Even to get to the name, I spent 20 minutes just to get to the name, right? But I appreciate that. Right? For us, it's more important, I even don't like using term employees, because I like to use term people I work with, right? And that's the important part. And the environment, the trust, the energy we have in the company is just amazing. And I like to say that it's the same energy we like to build with our clients. If things go wrong, we are there. It's not like with some other companies, if it's something wrong or something, well, you have to pay more, or okay, we can do something, we'll give you a discount. No, we will always try to find a way really, really to help you, to support you, because the nice part about Revvis, as said, is it's something that once it's created, it can last forever, as long as the property is there.
That's just extraordinary. So who then would own the image or the package? So someone's bought the package, but then they sell it. Would they include the Revvis documents as part of that package, for example? Because like you say, if the building exists for as long as it's there, who's next going to have permission and the rights to utilize it?
I mean, that's up to the owner, right? In the initial phase, the developer will have it, or the estate agent will have it, and we always say in every conversation, once it's sold, you can easily pass it, or they just give them an access. It works like with the credentials, basically. So once you have your login credentials, you can log into your property, and if you sell it, you can just give it to someone else. So really, it's that simple. When it comes to the technical parts and the IP, that's of course owned by Revvis. But when it comes to virtual model and everything, that's all yours, and we don't care. It's just good for us to know who has it, because if there is something is needed, we're always there, and then it's easier for us to help someone if some changes are needed or something goes wrong, or some additions to it. We can always help.
I love the fact that someone said to you about drone footage and within 3 days you'd sorted it out. It just sounds like a really fantastically flexible A, mentality, and B, capability. Like, your team are brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to the the team. I like to say, it's the product that makes the funder, but it's the team that makes the leader. Here, everything is about team. There's no, I did this, he did that. I mean, yes, of course, we have to appreciate each other, but it's all down to the team and to really dedicated work and trying to be always 10 steps, in front of others, and just but we're always open, because I think what people underestimate today is competition, because you see someone who, it's a big competition there. I rather like to talk to competition and see if we can do something together and learn from each other than just, putting things on the side, squeezing the teeth and things like that. Everything's evolving. Business is evolving. The way we work evolved in the last 2 years, so we have to evolve as well, and the way we work. I mean, the way we approach things. Sorry, I know my English is not perfect, but I think people will understand me.
I think your English is pretty near perfect. Don't you worry one jot. I don't think our Croatian's any better. So you carry on. That sounds like a really awesome mindset that you've all got, that you're talking about collaborating and you're supporting one another in such a genuine way that actually that's coming across to your clients, and then they're benefiting. Their clients are the ones that are benefiting at the end of the day from your expertise and your positive well-being within the company.
Yeah, I think it's, as I said, I think it's very important, and it's part when it comes to the management that's being really neglected these days. And if the management is not so good, then the whole energy will not be good. But for me, I like to think that all of us basically are managers. Each of us manages their job. The way we work and control things and how it's in Revvis is there's no. All policies are basically scrapped because we have trust and everyone knows their responsibility. So once you know your responsibility, then I don't have to worry and he doesn't have to worry. So, and I think it's just to reflect on that. It's kind of a model that everyone should start adapting, because as I said, it's really everything's going forward, everything's evolving. So yeah, I mean, we try to evolve it as well in that way every day.
I think that's incredible. It sounds really, really forward thinking, and certainly something that the property industry can, really grasp. There's lots of people doing cool stuff. Just needs to trickle down to some other areas, doesn't it? So in terms of who you need to speak to next, are you looking to engage with estate and letting agents, or maybe we could put you in touch with some developers, out of all our networks that we've all got, how can we get them to work with you?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we like to help, and really, we would like to people. First of all, we like to people to appreciate and understand the benefits of Revvis, because, as I said, it's not just another visualization tool. It's much more than that. And let's don't forget, we also collect and export data, and thing that's been underestimated for a long time, and probably in a state agency. But I think people are realizing that PropTech is really growing, and it's becoming a big part of real estate industry, and unless you follow and adapt to technology, you're just going to be behind, and you're going to be behind very quickly. So I think people should follow, not talking about Revvis and talking about fintech and other technologies. You really have to be on top of it. So if you ask us, I think we can help anyone, and we are perfect for anything that's not existing yet. So if that would be developers or agents, anyone who has something that has to be built, then Revvis is really perfect fit for that, because we can really showcase so much and offer so much support on it. And we, as I said, we are very cost effective. So for example, for a one family size house, when it comes to the residential, it just takes us two or 3 days to develop this all packaged together, and it can cost around £600. We're not talking crazy money, subject to what you get. And for apartments, it will be around £200 or £300 per apartment for the whole package. So we try to be really approachable and try to make Revvis accessible to everyone. Even though this year we are providing service, next year we will open our license model. So that means people will not have to go through us. They can just utilize our license and build everything by themselves. So we're really stepping up a big style.
That's amazing. What an opportunity for people. So I'm just thinking if one of my social media clients, for example, they've got a new build estate that they're trying to help a developer sell, and they've currently got just some CGI imagery. But actually, Revvis could go in and make a complete tour of the whole property, and then you can choose all your different rugs and chairs. And
that's correct. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there is always advantages and disadvantages, right? The people have to understand Revvis is utilizing real-time rendering, right? So there is two differences when it comes to visualizations, two main differences, right? There is real-time rendering and there is non-real-time rendering. So usually when you see this superb image, right, that is so photorealistic, or that video that is so photorealistic, it is obvious, most likely it is a non-real-time rendering. That means it's something that was pre-rendered, and that means you cannot change it. So when it's rendered, that's it, done. This is why it looks so good. While Revvis or some few other software that are utilizing real-time rendering, that means you can change everything right now. So if you talk to someone who is providing non-real-time rendering CGIs, and if you need something else, you have to go back, pay for another one. Then, I have to change something else, pay for another one. But with Revvis, you just get one, but you can change everything by yourself, or we can do it for you, but you don't have to create another one, because you can create by yourself thousands of them. You can save them. You can save different configurations, and then you can load different configurations. So if you have 10 different clients, you can just get one house, but have it saved in 10 different ways, and then show it to 10 clients in 10 different ways. So there's so much advantages of Revvis. You can control the lighting. You can change time of the day, and all the properties are geolocated. So you can see how the shadows play, how the sun plays with your property, especially if there are properties next to you. So you can plan your garden, where to put your TV in the room, so you don't get the sun on the screen. There's so much. There's so much to it.
Okay, that's extraordinary. Yes. To be able to actually know where you are in your street and where the shadows are going to go. That's just amazing. That'd be so useful for like a garden designer.
Yeah, because you can design, and you can do landscaping, you can do interior, whatever you want. And on top of that, just to explain, because two biggest advantages that we are bringing, or two novelties that we are bringing within the next 1 month. I mean, next month we are bringing the HDRP. So this is a high definition rendering. So our graphic quality will even be boosted more. And when it comes to real-time rendering, and you start comparing it with non-real-time rendering, it will be very hard to notice the difference, to be honest. And this is why we will be very, very competitive, even for the non-real-time rendering industry. And then we are going for the points of interest. So we will introduce points of interest within the house. So you can easily just click on the icon. It will tell you, okay, this is the kitchen, or this is the room. It does this and that. And then we are also expanding on the data. So that means, for example, it's useful if you have a development when it comes to data. We can tell you, okay, in this development, you have 10 houses or 10 flats. People looked plots 6, 7, and 3. They didn't look other plots. This is the amount of time they spend in this plot. This is the amount of time they spend in the rooms. This is the items they use the most. This is the materials they use the most. This is the region they're coming from. This is the systems they're using. So we can very easily, we are collecting that, and we can export that information, which can be very useful to our client. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Marketing departments go mad for stuff like that.
Yeah, true. So we just hope that people recognize not just Revvis, but we support also other technologies, and start relying, because I really want to say, if you take medicine, if medical industry or any other industry, you see banking and everything, we're becoming really dependent on the technology. It's just the future. We like it or not, it's the future.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Absolutely. I mean, I'm a bit of an analog girl, so all of this blows my mind. But I think, like you say, it's kind of getting more and more unavoidable. And one of the reasons for that is because there are early adopters. And if you're not keeping up with that in some way, shape, or form, you're going to get left so far behind so quickly that the consumer's going to pick that agent, that developer over you every time, because they've got the edge. They've got something that you're not offering, and you're not even anywhere near offering. I think it's
that's correct. I mean, if you compare yourself in the real life, right? If you just go buy anything, and if you apply the same strategy, you will do the same. So it doesn't have to be with the estate agency. You can be with anything else. You will just do exactly the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You just automatically go for the slightly better one, the slightly better telly, laptop, whatever it is, the next version. It's just incrementally, isn't it? It's sort of ubiquitous. You don't even realize you're doing it. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, from the business perspective, basically it comes down to the return on investment, right? So if you pay for this package or for this product this amount, and for this product this amount, but then you get 50 things here and one thing here. Don't get me wrong, that one thing can be more valuable than these 50 things. It's now subjective. It depends on what you're offering. But talking within this sector and in this industry and about virtualizations and real-time rendering, that there are some advantages some companies have and others don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds very, very exciting. And so how can people get hold of you, Vedran?
Well, they can find us easily social media, LinkedIn, we are under Revvis, or they can also access us through our website, so www.revvis.com, and they can always write directly to my email, which is vedran.radovic@revvis.com. But yeah, perfect. I think they can.
Let's spell Revvis. It's REVVIS. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Otherwise, we're gonna get crazy Google answers. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been fascinating to find all about Revvis, and keep us updated with all the incrementally increasing fantasticness.
Yeah, we'll do. There are exciting times coming, and thank you for having me. It's much appreciated.
No problem.
And thanks everyone for listening.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.